How we doing? How we doing, people? We are out here at Alexander High School where we just saw the Spartans take down the Meigs Marauders, but we're not going to get too much into that, right? We're going to hear that a little bit later because episode 3 of Hardwood Heroes starts right now. The trifecta, it's here, episode 3, and we're coming bigger than before. We're gonna learn about some Vinton County music, get an Athens boys breakdown, and as always, we got 2 new heroes of the week for you. But first, we gotta talk about some of the crazy jumps that happened in the standings. Now first up for the ladies in the hockey, the top 3 is unchanged, Waterford, Eastern, Belpre. But the biggest thing to note is those girls from Miller. They picked up 2 conference wins this past week and jumped from 8th all the way up to 4th. Now on to the boys who had a big jump in their standings as well. That jump was by the Eastern Eagles, 5th at the beginning of last week, but they take a look at where they're at now. 3rd place in just 1 game out of 2nd. They got some help from South Gallia, who stumbled and dropped to 5th, and Trimble still leads the way, and Waterford slid back into 2nd place. Now for the boys of the Ohio, there's not nearly as many changes. Well, 0 actually, from last week. That means Athens is still hanging by a thread over Alexander, and everybody else is just chasing behind. Vinton County 3, Meigs 4, Nelsonville York 5, and then another tough week for Wellston and River Valley as they're still sitting at the bottom of the order. And finally, the Ohio girls are seeing the same as the boys as there was no movement from last week. Vinton County is still the runaway favorites with a talented Alexander team right behind them, and everyone else is just chasing 3rd place as Nelsonville York still holds the slight edge on Meigs, and then Wellston, Athens, and River Valley finishes off the bottom of the pack. Now to start off, we're going to post up in the paint and bring in Meigs reporter Joseph Hennessy and David Butts. Guys, let's talk about the Lady Marauders. They got a win against Eastern at home on Monday.
Yeah, it was a big win for this squad. Mallory Holly flexed her muscles and showed off her Mamba mentality on the Eastern defense.
Holly's 19 points and 3 triples highlighted the dominant performance from the Maroon and Gold. However, this was an impressive team win more than anything else. The Marauders played some of their best team defense of the season. Were able to get everyone involved in that first half scoring fest.
Meigs handled Eastern with a 24-point win. Big win means experience for those youngins and others on the team.
I talked to head coach Jared Kaysen after the win, and he knew how big that performance was to get them out of that 3-game losing streak. Kaysen also mentioned how crucial that momentum would be going into their next game at Alexander.
Yeah, that momentum was stopped, though, from Alexander's defensive rebounding, outlet passing, and pushing the ball up the court, and taking advantage of being at the charity strike.
I mean, it's hard to win when you're called for 13 more fouls than your opponent. Despite those calls, the Lady Marauders remained in the game thanks to their outside shooting. Marissa Noble and Becca Pullins combined for 4 threes in the first half, but it wouldn't be enough, as Meigs would lose in the alley 55-43.
All right, now, so the girls struggled this week, but the boys got on track against the Vinton County Vikings.
Yes, they did, and this time it wasn't elite scorer Weston Bear, but it was the young bull of the team, Coulter Cleland. Head coach Jeremy Hill said he's a freshman on paper, but he is not a freshman on the court. All right, now here's the student section. It's frat boy night. Buddy had some AirPods. All right, he's stunned. He knows it, but okay, back to the court. Cleland, 17 points, 10 rebounds. 5 coming off the offensive glass, and 2 steals against a well-coached, aggressive Viking squad.
4 blocks from Cleland as well, as he played a huge role in the Marauders' dominating defensive performance, outscoring the Vikings 26-5 in the second half.
This team showed who they are tonight. On a Friday, best scorer. Doesn't get his shots to fall, so it's a 2nd, 3rd, 4th man to get things going. I feel like this is every coach's favorite quote, but defense is all effort, and that's how the Marauders played tonight.
Coach Hill also mentioned how his squad held a D2 team to just 5 points in the entire second half. It also helps to have one of the best home courts in the TVC that's always popping in Pomeroy on Friday nights.
Yeah, no, Meigs definitely showed off their depth and effort on Friday.
Yeah, they did with all that camaraderie. You get it? Okay, bad joke. But on a serious note, this team is full of skilled players, and they can beat anyone when they play all 4 quarters like Friday.
Yeah, no, they certainly can, but they can't beat our Facebook page. Now, Jesse Eisenberg in the social network said people want to go online and check out their friends. So why don't you go check out us on Facebook, your friends, Hardwood Heroes. We got game recaps and other great content you can't get anywhere else, so go give it a look. Now, the TVC titles in 2019 appear to be a possibility for both Waterford squads. Reporter Ryan Kincaid is here now to tell us how the Wildcats can do it.
Paul, it was another undefeated week for Waterford. Both teams had a perfect 2-0 record, which is what they needed to stay in the title hunt.
Yeah, no, last week the boys stumbled against Trimble. How did they regroup this week?
The Wildcats got off to a good start Wednesday by avenging their earlier loss to Southern. The 68-57 victory came off the back of outstanding shooting at the free throw line. Waterford converted 19 of their 21 free throws, and 4 double-digit scorers secured the win to jump into second place in the Hocking. Waterford then earned a gritty victory at Federal Hocking. Peyton Stevens and Russell Young each came in 1 rebound short of securing double-doubles, and the Wildcats survived the Lancer comeback attempt 59-51.
All right, so what are they doing differently to get them back to winning some ball games?
Bottom line, Paul, the Wildcats are taking their chances on offense and drawing fouls to get to the free throw line. Young posted a perfect 4 for 4 from the line against Federal Hocking, and the team has converted just under 80% of their free throws this week. In addition, their willingness to fight for every possession, it's doing more than just padding the rebound stats. It's leading to game-winning points in the paint.
Yeah, no, so while the boys are looking to take first place, what are the girls doing to maintain their top spot?
I tell you what, Paul, every single game, Waterford keeps finding new ways to win games. It's a matter of fact at this point. The Lady Wildcats traveled to South Gallia this Saturday, and they outscored the Lady Rebels 65-36. They then pulled a 180 on Thursday and punished Federal Hocking 43-13. Needless to say, this team can plan for just about anyone. And Paul, I don't see any clear potholes in this team's remaining schedule. Their 7-game winning streak could extend all the way to the tournament.
Oh, that's quite the bold statement there, Ryan. So who needs to come up big for this team to ensure that strong finish?
Well, Paul, there's no mistaking the importance of Rachel Adams to the Lady Wildcats. She scored the same amount of points as the entire Fed Hawk team this past Thursday. Her leadership boosts the confidence and ability of her teammates. But don't count out Kara Taylor either. She recorded 16 points against Fed Hawk with a pair of rebounds and an assist. And all good teams have a solid bench too. Waterford's combined for 21 points to maintain the Lady Wildcats' stranglehold on first place. So the Lady Wildcats ran on top, and the boys, they're just behind Trimble in the standings. One solid misstep, and the Waterford Wildcats take the crown.
Yeah, no, I can't wait to see who rules the Hocking Kingdom. Thanks, Ryan. Now, playing the Lady Vikings this year has been, well, it's been a buzzsaw for opponents. Now, Tyler Corbett, now sporting a new haircut, joins me on desk to talk some Vikings hoops.
Yeah, to put it simply, Paul, playing the Lady Vikings hasn't been very fun for an opponent. In fact, the only opponent they've even lost to is the weather. No, Paul, I didn't misspeak. The weather was the reason the Vikes couldn't take on the Jackson Iron Ladies this Monday night.
Well, you know, what about the game did they play?
Well, Noah, I just got to come out and say this. If Rod Bentley and the Sun played in a 7-game series, I'd take Bentley in 6.
Now, it doesn't really answer my question, but okay.
What I'm trying to say is Bentley has his team playing with so much swagger, and this past Thursday, they went into the locker room up only 5 on the Athens Lady Bulldogs, then exploded in the second half. Led by Morgan Bentley, who had 19 points, and Tegan Barth, who had 16. They were just too much for Athens and pulled away 63-46. They're now 15-0.
Yeah, the Lady Vikes are still undefeated. This team has to have some rhythm. But, you know, what about the boys? I doubt they got some I don't doubt they got some as well.
Yeah, but a lot of the rhythm comes from just one player.
When the average TVC basketball fan hears the name Austin Height, they probably think about Vinton County's emotional leader. But what if I told you there was a Height the fans didn't know? Basketball isn't Height's only hobby. Making music is his passion. Passion for music came from his family, who assisted with his career early on.
Freshman year, I really started getting heavy into it and really trying to pursue it more. We would always go to these different music festivals and they'd drive me around, and Dad would help me set up sound equipment.
They never doubted that he'd make something of it.
Seriously, maybe around 13, 14 years old.
I knew when he was 9 years old he was going to do something with it.
Height's teammates are supportive of his music. They're so supportive that they come out to his song, Go Off.
I was against it, and then they said that we should do it.
Basketball and music are the 2 most important things to Height.
I go to school through the day, then I come to basketball, and then I don't think about school for the rest of the day, and I just go home and write.
To Height, music is like basketball. It takes time to perfect.
I just start by making the beat, and then just whatever comes to mind, I just kind of let it fly.
Writing songs takes some varied amounts of time.
Sometimes it can take 20 minutes, and then sometimes it takes a month.
One thing is certain to Height. Music is what he wants to make his career of, and what he is focusing on once he graduates.
So I'm gonna work on sync projects, which is where you write specifically for movies or video games or YouTube channels and stuff like that.
Much like the Vikings on the court, in the studio, he always has a team behind him.
And if you're wondering if basketball impacts his music, he plans on releasing a song titled Free Throw, based on his game-winning shot against Athens.
Ooh, I can't wait for that one to drop. Thanks for sharing a great story, Tyler. And Vinton County is a team that recently got some love on our Twitter page with an undefeated graphic. Now, if you want to go check that out, then follow @Hardwood Heroes. We also link all of our game recap articles and videos on there, plus we have other fun content that will be appearing throughout the coming weeks. Now, continuing on with our coverage, Melody Brewer joins me to talk about our young Trimble Lady Tomcats and their focus for the season as they faced off against Eastern on Thursday.
The Lady Tomcats came into the game determined and focused, Paul. Focused on movement. The Trimble offense took the game with a determination and ferocity. Trimble agility on the court paved the way for them to obtain 8 offensive rebounds, and the girls were able to remain a point ahead of Eastern for the second and third quarters.
Yet Trimble was able to remain ahead of Eastern for a portion of the game, but what helped them jump out to that lead in the first place?
Trimble was able to stay ahead for so long due to Lakin Imler, Jane Six, and Emily Young. Lakin Imler scored a total of 14 points and had 6 rebounds. Jane Six also scored 14 points and had 7 rebounds. Emily Young continued the trend with 10 points of her own, and 6 of those 10 points were 3-pointers. Trimble was able to hustle to get the ball and make baskets by working as a team.
Yeah, it seems like Trimble was working hard, but what happened near the end?
Unfortunately, Trimble is a small team. They were not able to sub as frequently as Eastern, and they were able to pull forward in points, and Trimble fell 53-43.
And so Trimble girls, being the underdogs, focused on the little victories in the game, but how about the boys? You know, what did they focus on in order to gain a victory against South Gallia?
Well, the Tomcats focused on foul shots and making them count as the game was full of them. By the end of the night, Trimble shot a total of 30 fouls, making 23 of those shots. The Rebels fouled the Tomcats a total of 9 times in the first half alone. Assistant coach Jeff Kuhn stated that it is nice to see the team making them count.
Wow, so a game was heavily foul-driven, but what was the other factor to the Tomcats' success?
The second focal point for the Tomcats was defense. Assistant coach Jeff Kuhn gave us a little insight when we interviewed him after the game.
We've been focusing on defense in practice. The weak side, playing in the middle of the court, and just getting down and getting dirty. And when you get dirty, good things will happen.
By focusing on the smaller aspects of the game, Trimble was able to come out with a bigger victory over the Rebels with a score of 49-42.
Yeah, well, Melody, it seems like Trimble was able to appreciate the victory against South Gallia, as they are poised to take the Hawking crown. Now, coming into this week, the Lady Eagles had been struggling, but Brandon Monty is here to recap what was an up-and-down week in Reedsville.
Paul, things didn't start off too pleasantly to kick the week off, but thankfully a return home to the barn helped them regain their momentum.
On Monday, it looked like the Lady Eagles came out pretty flat on the road against their crosstown counterparts.
Right from the get-go, Megs took control. Coach Jacob Parker was really picking his team apart, really emphasizing that they needed to play with some heart. The final was 61-37, as Megs' shots were radar guided all game long.
Now, you mentioned their defensive struggles, but as we know, they were able to change course against Trimble.
As Coach Parker said, the Lady Eagles go offensively as well as they do defensively. 16 steals as a team in a win against Trimble was certainly a step up from their previous 2 games. Still, that didn't stop Coach Parker from nearly benching players in groups of 5.
Yeah, as a coach, sometimes you got to use a little bit of fear to motivate. You don't like to, but that's what we came down to when we were preaching about the offensive board. Went for about 6-7 minutes there, didn't give up an offensive board, won the game. Probably the deciding factor in the basketball game.
Paul, sometimes a little motivation is all you need, even if that means potentially getting pulled out of the game. Kelsey Casto, Allison Bailey, and Olivia Barber all had double figures in the Eastern's 53-43 win as the offense looked rejuvenated.
Yeah, so the girls split their matchups, but on the guys' side, it was a clean sweep.
Yes, indeed. It started Tuesday night with a barrage of offense against Point Pleasant.
And who led the charge offensively for the Eagles?
Garrett Behringer dominated, posting an impressive 26 points and 8 rebounds. He made the most of just about all his shots as well, shooting 10 of 12 from the field. Overall, Coach Kite was extremely pleased with his team's effort in their 72-62 victory.
Oh, his game was crucial. He got to the spots that we needed him to get to. Our other guys did a wonderful job helping him get those 26 by moving the ball, making sure we found him. And he was our hot guy. He was the guy that we knew we had to get the ball in his hands.
I'm just saying Paul Behringer may or may not deserve that Hero of the Week nod, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, no, and then not to mention, the Eagles' success also carried into Friday, I heard.
Certainly did. They notched a dub against Miller last night. This week, they moved from 6th to 3rd in the Hawking. It was a big bounce-back week for David Kite's Eagles, and we'll just have to wait and see if they can keep the hot streak rolling.
Yeah, a lot of improvement going out in Reedsville. Thank you as always, Brandon. Now, YouTube. No, it's not just for Fortnite videos and makeup tutorials. It also houses a lot of our content. We post game recaps as well as entire show episodes. So go find WOUB PBS on YouTube. Maybe subscribe, shoot us a like. We'll have content posted throughout the week. All right, now let's take Highway 33 east to the alley and discuss some Alexander basketball. The Spartans emptied their bench as we now have Anthony Marino and Brian Kerr in the paint.
Paul, have you seen us play basketball? I don't think the Spartans want us anywhere near a basketball.
Yeah, you don't even want to see me touch a basketball. But I can most certainly talk about some basketball. The Alexander boys team split 2 games this week against Warren and River Valley. Anthony, we were there Tuesday night, and the Spartans were just simply outplayed.
Yeah, we saw 2 very talented teams play each other. Early on in the game, the Spartans found themselves in foul trouble, but they entered halftime only down 3. In previous games, we have seen Alexander play lights out in the third quarter, but Warren is not like any other team they've played. They are fast and physical. Warren was able to have 2 players score in double digits. Seth Dennis scored a game-high 18 points, and right behind him was Noah Nichols with 17, leading Warren to a 59-46 win.
Warren did a great job of containing Caleb Terry when he was near the basket. They would occasionally double-team him. Terry did finish with 10 points, but Dylan Meckham led the team with 11 points.
Hey, Brian, they did bounce back, getting another conference win on Friday against River Valley, 63-48. Brian, how did the girls fare this week?
Well, after losing to Vinton County last week, Jeff Grinstead really has his team playing well in such a crucial part of the season. On Monday, they played a non-conference game against Oak Hill and won 61-50. Lady Spartans had 5 players in double figures. Kenna Rice led the way with 16 points. Rice also put on a show Thursday when Alexander returned to the alley for some TVC Ohio action against Meggs. She led the way with 17 points and was 6 of 12 from the field in the Lady Spartans' 55-43 win over the Lady Marauders. Alexander took advantage of many Lady Marauders fouls. They were 20 of 27 from the free throw line. A player that accounted for 6 of those free throws was Marley Grinstead. Grinstead was the star of the first half with 9 points, good enough to lead all scorers. And oh yeah, she's only a freshman.
Yeah, Molly Grinstead had a pretty solid night, but one player we didn't really hear a lot about this week was Rachel Richardson. She only had 9 points on Thursday. You gotta wonder if teams are trying to guard her better, which leads to better production from other players.
You could be right, Anthony. In this game, this boys game on Friday is going to be a big one. It will likely decide a TVC Ohio.
Yeah, no, as we know, it's going to be an electric atmosphere in the alley for that one. Thanks to the great work, you two. And recently on our YouTube page, you've seen a lot of winning coming from the Plains, but this week, not so much. Athens Bulldogs reporter Thomas Garvik joins me now to explain why it was tough sledding this week for the Lady Bulldogs.
Yeah, but you know what, Paul? Sometimes you learn more about a team when they lose rather than when they win. After the Lady Bulldogs, something on Thursday that a lot of teams haven't been able to do, and that's challenge Vinton County, despite what Tyler said earlier.
Yeah, are you hinting that Tyler forgot to tell me something on desk?
Well, that's for you to decide, Paul, but I'm saying that the Lady Bulldogs held their own in the first half. They only trailed by 5 at the break, and largely because they exposed Vinton County's weaknesses.
Weaknesses?
Yes, Paul. Even the undefeated Vikings have things to fix. The Lady Bulldogs dominated the glass with 38 boards. Laura Mandrick's 20 and 14 double-double, and Emma Harder controlling the tempo had a big say in that.
They both do a little bit of everything. Emma does a lot of stuff that doesn't necessarily show up on the stat sheet. Laura does a whole lot of stuff that shows up on the stat sheet. But Emma kind of controls the pace of the game and stuff. And Laura, you know, she's a scorer. She puts the ball in the hoop.
So the Lady Bulldogs are getting better despite the losses, but the boys, man, they just keep winning.
They sure do. And Friday was also senior night, and the atmosphere was absolutely electric in the Plains. It's a moment, Paul, in every senior's life that they're never going to forget. This senior class has raised the bar for this Bulldog program. 3 seniors who normally don't play got the start: Cage Penron, Josh Mace, and Blake Stover.
Oh, you love to see a coach do that for his players.
Exactly. That's what a night like this is all about, and comes with that is emotions running high, which is why the Bulldogs got off to such a slow start.
After you got out of that first quarter, you know, with the ceremony and, you know, everything's kind of just off a little bit to start these games, and it just took us a little bit.
Yeah, he wasn't kidding. Once the Bulldogs shook off the senior night jitters, Paul, the hoop looked like a swimming pool.
At the end of January?
Oh yeah, big time splash party. Braden Markins from distance, bang. You get a kick out of this, Paul. Crowd's getting into it. Plus, wait for it. Oh, there it is. Eli jumped ahead.
Get out of here.
Oh, you're going to see him again. Logan Maxfield says, I went on the party. Splash, Athens rolling, and then cue it.
All right, I'm digging the fathead.
How about one more time? Butcher from the corner, you can book it. Bulldogs on fire.
You gotta love it.
Oh, absolutely. The fathead just added on to an awesome night for the seniors. What did you think of the big head out there tonight?
Listen, my mom made 2 of them. I only let her bring out 1. It's embarrassing, but you gotta love her.
What are you going to miss most about being an Athens Bulldog, playing on this court every night?
Oh man, just the environment. All the fans when they come out every Friday night, they're so excited. Every single night they come out to watch one of our games.
Yeah, it's a night every senior likes to end with a W. And it seems like a lot more are coming for this team in the future. You the man, Tommy. And Will Rogers once said, "All I know is what I read in the papers." Well, Will, it's 2019 and nobody knows who you are. So while we might not have a newspaper, we still have written content for you guys. So go to woub.org, click the Hardwood tab, and check them out. Postings will be happening throughout the week after games. Now, just to the west of Athens is Stewart, home of the Federal Hocking Lancers. Now, reporter Will Collins joins me on desk to talk some Lancer basketball.
What a week it has been for Fed Hawk basketball, Paul. The girls started and boys started their weeks off strong, but weren't able to finish so hot. So starting with the girls, the Lady Lancers split a pair of games this week with a big win coming in a non-conference game against the Nelsonville York Lady Buckeyes in overtime, 56-54 on Tuesday, but then falling in a Hawking matchup with the Waterford Lady Wildcats, 43-13 on Thursday.
Ooh, yeah, Tuesday's win was a big one for the Lady Lancers, so how were they able to pull it off?
Paul, the Lady Lancers offense was on fire Tuesday, and were moving and shooting the ball well throughout the whole game. The 3 stars of the night for the Lancers were their trio of sophomores, Kylie Tabler, who was hot from behind the three-point line, Paige Tolson, who scored 22 points, and Emma Beha, who put up a double-double of 14 points and 13 rebounds.
Yeah, now that win should have given the girls some momentum going into Thursday, but what ended up happening?
To put it simply, the girls were outclassed and outgunned. The Lady Lancers were given a rebounding clinic by the Lady Cats and were held just 8 points in the first half. In the third, they were held to just 2 points and finished with 13. 5 points from Paige Tolson was all they got from her that night.
All right, so the girls had an up and down week, but tell me about the boys. How did they fare?
Well, the boys also split a pair of games this week, 1 win and 1 loss. They won their 4th game of the season against Wahama 2 more than a season ago, so it seems like they are trending upward in their first game of the week. When they traveled to face the White Falcons, Coach Jonathan Thompson said the boys played a complete 4 quarters and hit clutch shots when they needed to, and the Lancers were able to walk away as the victors, 56-47.
All right, now the game that I'm looking forward to hear about is the Lancers matchup with the Wildcats. Was Fed Hawk, able to pull the upset?
Paul, the Lancers weren't able to pull the upset, but at least they kept it close all night long. After a close physical first quarter where they started on an 8-2 run, the Lancers found themselves down 11-10 to the Cats. But at the half, it was Fed Hawk who headed into the locker room with the lead, 28-27, after Adam Douglas drained a 3 with 2 Wildcats in his face. In the second half, both teams traded scores, and Fed Hawk tried to mount one final surge, but it wasn't enough to outlast the Cats, who won 59-51. The Lancers will look to get back in the win column when they take on Southern on Tuesday, and the ladies will take on the Lady Wahama White Falcons.
Well, thanks for the lowdown on the Lancers. Now, the Nelsonville York Lady Buckeyes have had a strong season so far, but they had a big test this week, having to go on the road twice. NY reporter Michael Roth is here to tell us how they fared in those 2 games.
Paul, do you know that the bird is the word?
Everybody knows the bird is the word. Yeah.
Well, Paul, for the Lady Buckeyes, Hurd is the word. Mackenzie Hurd might just be a freshman, but she's already a leader for NY. In the first game of the week, Hurd scored a team-high 20 points and stepped up with Mary-Kate McCullough out for a majority of the first half with foul trouble. Hurd wasn't just a scorer, though. She had 8 rebounds and 6 assists to keep her team in the game.
Now, I heard the Lady Buckeyes also have another Hurd on their team.
Yes, Paul, that's right. Haley Hurd is Mackenzie's older sister, and she is a starter for NY as well. The junior had 6 points and 5 rebounds in the game against Fed Hawk. These 2 performances kept the Lady Buckeyes close. Grace Sinnott hit a game-tying jump shot with under 30 seconds left, but the Lady Buckeyes weren't able to come out on top in overtime. Kylie Tabler made one of her 5 3-pointers to give the Lady Lancers a lead in OT they would never relinquish. Lady Lancers take this one 56-54.
All right, so we got the first one covered, but what happened to their late week contest?
Nelsonville York traveled to River Valley to take on the Lady Raiders, and they got back in the win column with a 49-29 victory to improve to 5-3 in TVC Ohio play.
Yeah, the girls won their only conference game of the week, but the boys fell to their rival. What happened when NY traveled to the Plains?
Paul, the NY and Athens rivalry is intense on the football field, but on the hardwood, it's been all Athens. The Bulldogs won their 15th straight game in the series Friday night.
Well, as you know, they're a big rival in football, so it feels good beating them on the court, too, after we lost them 2 years straight in football.
Ethan Boyer started off hot for the Buckeyes and had 6 first-quarter points to give NY a 4-point lead after 1. However, in the second, Athens took control and outscored the Buckeyes 23-3. NY was able to chip away at the Athens lead thanks to 8 made three-pointers, but the Buckeyes weren't ever make a run at a serious upset. Bryce Richards led the Buckeyes with 12 points, and he had 3 rebounds and 3 assists as well.
All right, so what ended up being the breaking point for NY?
Athens moved the ball exceptionally well against the zone. Isaiah Butcher and Logan Maxfield picked apart the soft Buckeye defense for easy buckets. For NY to end the streak soon, they will need to improve their defensive performance.
Yeah, hopefully NY can make this rivalry more competitive in the near future and bring the intensity back. Thank you, Michael. Now, we all use Snapchat for many reasons, but where else are you going to find some of TVC basketball action? Nowhere else, that's where. So why haven't you added us yet? Go add Hardwood Heroes on Snapchat. Most of the time it's run by yours truly, so send me a snap, let's go. It could end up being on the show, people. Now, I've been waiting for it, and I know you have all been waiting for it too. It's time again for Hero of the Week, and I'm pulling out the pick and roll, feeding it down in the paint to our online hosts, Jacob Murray and T. Willis, to break down this week's winners.
Paul, T, our 2 heroes play completely different positions, but they are both crucial to their team's success. For our Girls Hero of the Week, we have Nelsonville York's Mackenzie Hurd. Now, you might have heard that last name of Hurd, and that is because she has a sister on the team, center Haley Hurd. And unlike her older sister, she runs the point guard position for the Lady Buckeyes. If she has an open shot from the perimeter, she will take it and make it at a high percentage, as she has a very fluid jump shot. She also has the ability to take the defender off the dribble to get some easy scoring opportunities.
Now, scoring is important, but this hero does something else much better.
Look, this hero is an exceptional passer. One of the most difficult things to do in the game of basketball is throw a long pass from half court, but Mackenzie makes it look easy, as she can hit her teammates for easy fast break layups. This is also true in the half court setup, where she can push the ball past the defenders for an open look at the basket. Overall, Mackenzie's a well-rounded player who finds a way to be a go-to scoring option on any given night. And like Michael said earlier, the herd is the word.
Now, Jacob, I'm glad you said well-rounded, because that sounds a lot like my big man. My boy's hero of the week is Garrett Behringer of the Eastern Eagles. At 6'3", this guy knows how to use that long frame of his to affect every facet of the game. When he's out on the floor, there's no shot that goes uncontested, and every rebound has his name on it. Tuesday night against Point Pleasant, Behringer was a stat sheet stuffer. 26 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, and a block. On top of that, he went 10 for 12 shooting an 83% clip. He didn't just coast through the rest of the week, though. Friday night against the Miller Falcons, Behringer put up nearly identical numbers with 22 points, 7 boards, and 3 dimes.
Yeah, no, this dude is definitely a beast down low, and being a player that can do it all impacts the game tremendously. But what would you consider to be his best attribute?
Well, Paul, you said it right there. He can do it all. Versatility is his best attribute, especially on offense. He can spread the floor in a half-court set. If there's too much pressure down low, he can kick it out to an open man. If he's left open on the key, he'll make you pay with that smooth mid-range shot of his. Eastern Eagles head coach David Kite raves about this kid. He said Behringer was a crucial part of their win Tuesday, and when he was hot, they had to get the ball in his hands. With the help of hard-nosed players such as Behringer, Coach Kite is building a culture of physical Eagles basketball.
Yeah, no, this Eagles team is turning around. They're doing really well as of late. Definitely a team with a lot of potential and 2 heroes with a lot of talent. Thanks for the great work, you two. Now, Tim Grover once said, when you're tired, sore, and can't do more, that's the time to do more. But, sadly, people, we don't have any more for you because we're out of time. I'm your host, Paul Wath, as always, signing off and reminding you to be heroic.